Yo, what's up? As you see in the hallway, got the pillows and all that stuff set out there. Gotta get ready to wash and clean your sheets. Make sure you guys are doing that stuff. Most of you got moms taking care of all that stuff for you. What's up, Cool Harlem? I see you. 100. Yeah, I was gonna get back to some hip hop, man. Back when it was real. Back when it was, what it was supposed to be about. What's up, Professor? So, right away, word. Still, son. Still, word. And it's funny because I still got that video. It's on my old PC, man. We was chilling watching that the other day before it went back down. I got the whole Nas, everything, man. It goes back. I make videos for bad sleep schedules. I know I'm the product of it. Actually, I just woke up about an hour or so ago. Now, here's the news. Nas, when he came out with the Stillmatic intro, all of these things was coming in development. I remember we was like the song was already done, right? The song was already done and completed. Nas knew everything that he was gonna do, and he knew he had the promotional interview to do in the source. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, because 9/11 hit just when the blueprint came out, and that was in September. Now here it is, Nas album is going to come out in December, or the end of November, around that time. So 9/11 just hit. They got Nas, he's got the American flag, and he's got his hand over his heart. If you got that Source magazine, then you know what I'm talking about. Everybody had the Source. So once again, the internet wasn't where it was now. I had AT&T dial-up at the time. So internet was not what it is now, by far. But it was just starting to blossom. And this is 2000, I mean like 2001. So when you're seeing all of this happen and you see Nas there, yeah, especially because if somebody on the phone, the internet's down, and you got to basically start all over again and wait for it to load back up. Oh, streaming on dial up, yeah, that would never take place. No, so the intro to Stillmatic, right? Everything was being like kept to the chest for a minute, and people heard Ether before they heard the intro. So once they heard Ether, that was what everything was about. And I never forget Nas really downplayed everything in the source because that was a strategic move for him. But once it came to the actual showdown and this is where it's going to go and this is how we're going to do it, it leaked out, ether leaked out, and it was burning the streets. I mean, burning the streets. So while I was burning in New York, around the world, we never heard it. So the streets of New York had it before everybody, of course, naturally. And the Stillmatic intro has still never was really heard yet. So people was like, man, this album finna be crazy. Now Nas' album was coming out in like days. It still had days to go. The whole album was leaked. I swear to you, the whole Nas album was leaked. And that leaked album had way more songs than what everybody else had. And that's how I knew, because my cousin, somebody who don't even remotely have anything to do with any of this, how did it fall in his hands? I have no idea to this day. But my cousin that's under me and my other cousin that rap, he gave the album to him. And they had it first. And they came and got me. Like, because I'm always the person that have everything first. I didn't have this. And how that happened, I didn't have a Nas album before everybody in the world. Are you kidding? And they had it before me. So the usual people that have it didn't have it. So this was going through different channels. So my cousin came over, they all came to get me, and we was in the car. And they put it on, and he's like, yo, we finna go to the car and listen to that Nas. And me, of course, I'm gonna buy the original copy. That's coming in a couple of days. But I gotta listen to this album right now. And sure enough, the intro comes in, and my cousin said, I'm trying to figure out what this song sounds so familiar. Boom! Oh, no, 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 oh, oh. I said, of course it's familiar. That's Stacy Lattimore. That's your mom's like favorite song. She used to sing it all the time. On time. My auntie used to sing that song. I'm like, she used to had a high pitched voice. I'm like, that's Stacy Lattimore. So as soon as that came on, I knew right away where Nas was going. And I said, all right, let me listen to this. And as he rapped, by the time he got to the point where he said, y'all got there, but y'all didn't get it all. I want my style back. Hate to see you playing. It's the rap repo man. Me and my cousin looked at each other and said, this album is fire. This album is finna burn a hole in the floor. I ain't gotta listen to nothing else. I ain't gotta listen to nothing else. After that line, we knew what Stillmatic was gonna be. We said, oh, I ain't even gotta listen to nothing else. He in the zone. He finna burn a hole in the floor. We had the same reaction at the same time. At the same time, we had the same reaction. But I knew when he said, and from the very first voice, I mean, the very first beginning, when he said, y'all thought I was gonna make another Illmatic, but it's always forward I'm moving, never backwards. Stupid, here's another classic. And I said, oh, here we go. Here we go. And I was like, I was strapped in then. But so before he even got to that line, when that line just sealed it, when he said, look, I want my style back. Hate to see your plans, but it's the rap repo man. I said, that's it. That's it. Shut it down. It's over. It's all over. No, because Got Yourself a Gun was just the theme to all of it. That's the thing. Got Yourself a Gun was just the street record to let people know Nas is coming out. So Got Yourself a Gun wasn't the single that was gonna bring you all the revenue and nothing like that. That's just to let you know the Nas album is coming. That's just like Nas is like. Right. And everybody likes Sopranos, so he wanted to do something epic with the Sopranos because everybody at that time was hooked on Sopranos. And I got the original song to the Sopranos. I was one of the first people to have that. Woke up this morning, bada boom, a blue dog in your eye. Some dude's like, "How did you find this whole song? I've been looking for this." People was trying to mix that song and find a way to rap to that song for the longest. Yeah, Poet produced the record. What's wrong with my Cash App? What, my Cash App ain't working? What you mean? My Cash App is Carcino. Carceno. I mean, the beat on the Dynasty intro, it sounds like it's something epic was gonna happen, and it never really did. But it's dope. I like the Dynasty intro, but I'll take the Stillmatic intro. I mean, the rhymes alone, just eat that up. I mean, the intro was so sharp. That's what made it. It was like an essential moment, you know. So if you like Nas, if you liked hip hop, if you like all the creativity, this was the most one of the most creative albums ever made. But that Stillmatic intro, it set the tone. It said, "Okay, this is what we gonna do." We finna hit them in the mouth right away. So we knew what was coming. You follow that up with Ether. Then the other songs that end up becoming the other verses that he had for Ether, the original Ether songs that he recorded, you actually heard those on the other songs. Everybody's Crazy was basically Ether. That was the first Ether. Like two of the verses on there was on the original Ether song. Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. That Ether was on there. It had actually what you talking about is the I said the Stillmatic intro. You talking about the Stillmatic freestyle. See, Ether wasn't on that tape. The tape you talking about, Ether wasn't on that tape. With the Benny Siegel, Jada disc, Ether wasn't on there. The Stillmatic freestyle was on there. There's two, the Stillmatic intro is what we're talking about on the album. You talking about the Stillmatic freestyle that led to that ended up leading into Jay putting the extra verse on the takeover. Now the Stillmatic freestyle was on there. Then it had the Beanie Siegel disc and the Jada Kiss disc, all on the same mixtape. So at that time, Ether didn't even exist, and at that time, nothing else existed. You know, the takeover song wasn't because that Nas verse wasn't on the takeover song. The takeover verse was only, I mean, the takeover song only had three verses. If you now we all know now it has four, four verses because he baited Nas to say something, and Nas did, and then he went and put that verse in there and added it to the album right at the last minute. You're the Man is a beat from a guy that is one of the best musicians ever, and he lives in Detroit, Michigan. And if you go on Netflix, they got the story of his life, Searching for Sugar Man. You guys need to watch that. That's right. Sugar Man, Sugar Man, silver magic ships you carry, jumpers come, sweet Mary Jane. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Sugar Man, Sugar Man, Sugar Man. Man, dude, when they did that, when they did the Sugar Man documentary, and it switched everything like a light bulb switch. And when they chopped that up, they just took that. I know that's because you got a good producer who made it sound like he's saying, "You're the man, you're the man." So if you chop that, if you take Sugar Man, but now I knew the song. I used to hear the song all the time and never knew who made it, where it came from, or nothing. And then you get to learn that the artist, man, he was so weird. And then he killed himself on stage at a performance because people weren't feeling his music. So for years, people thought he was dead. He had the number one selling album in Africa. His album is number one in the country. It sold more than Elvis. Cold facts. And come to find out that he didn't die. He never was dead. He was still in Michigan. People were searching for his music and his album to try to interview people who knew him and found out he was alive. And the people around him couldn't even believe that he was the guy that made, all these great music. They didn't even know he basically made songs. The artist's name is Rodriguez. Where else would my lotion be? Right on the dresser. That's weird that you're focused on lotion. It's weirdos. People looking in there, where's the lotion? Oh no, we knew from the beat. We knew what vibe he was in. We knew what zone he was in. People make their best music when they're pissed off. It set the stage. I knew from the intro that Stillmatic was going to be one of the best albums ever, just from the way he was rapping. I could hear it in his voice. I said, "Yep, he's in his zone." And sometimes people use, the beef and everything, just the way he was set up strategically. It embarrassed him, and to a degree, when you get embarrassed like that and you feel disrespected, it puts you in a mood to use that as a muse to basically step your game up and go after it. And that's what he did, and that's one thing I'll always be proud of from Nas is that he stood up to the challenge and said, you know what, I'm not gonna cower. I'm gonna beat him at his own game. And I mean, Jay was at the height of his career. I mean, he was really feeling himself. He was, you think so now? No, no, no. He couldn't lose. He felt like this whole game is mine. They just got their money. He's feeling real good. And nothing can, like, nobody could do anything to knock him off the pedestal. And that knocked him off the pedestal. That Nas was the one that knocked him off that high horse. And he didn't know people was waiting for him to fall. They oversaturated the market with the music because they were trying to get out their record contract and renegotiate. So that's why you saw all the Jay-Z albums. But the Stillmatic intro, it shook everybody because when Jay and them, they got the Nas album, the record and everything, they wanted to listen to it. Jay wanted to listen to it in his own privacy. He didn't want nobody else around. He wanted to hear it though. But he wasn't going to be the one that's like, oh, play it, play it, play it. And he told Tata to go get it. Tata went and got the record. And from that moment on, Jay was just like, then move. He was listening to the lyrics. So he didn't want no people around him. He didn't want too many people to know he was even listening to it. So once they listened to Ether, J whole everything changed. His life was destroyed. He was at the radio station and he couldn't even talk. He never really listened to it. Took him a while to even listen to the whole album. He couldn't. He heard two, maybe two, three songs, and he won't listen to it no more. He already heard "Got Yourself a Gun," and he was like, "This is it." That was Nas' strategy. Nas did drop you. I mean, "Got Yourself a Gun," and it was like a little stuff in there, and he was like, "Oh, this is his response." Like, oh, that's no, Nas don't want it. Nas don't. He really don't want it. So Jay really thought he won. He let Jay believe it was all gonna be over. Then when Ether hit the streets, Jay had to go out and do something immediately. So he had to immediately make a song. He was disturbed. He was mad. He wanted to fight Nas, like actually punch him in the face. That's how mad he was. I mean, Jay was this close from being out of rap, this close from being out of the game completely. He would have been eviscerated. He was this close. It definitely affected him because Blueprint 2 was trash, even though he had one of his best songs on there. That and to me, that was like one of my favorite Jay-Z songs was Hovey Baby. I'm like, my buddy hates her song. And I'm like, dude, if you listen to Hovey Baby, I'm like, I don't know what you listening to, but he is mad. He was letting it go. And I'm like, every verse in Hovey Baby, I said, man, are you kidding? My buddy said, that's whack. I said, all right, we can't talk because you in a mode right now. He's in a Nas mode and he couldn't get out of it. I'm like, look, then you tripping, Ulysses. I don't know what you talking about. Nas ain't never gonna be whack. He did make a song for Cam now. That dig a hole. Dig a hole. Bury yourself. I know. I mean, Jay Z's best songs were like most of them was off the Blueprint 2 album, and that was because him and Jazz O fell out because he felt Jazz O was giving Nas information, personal information that led to Ether and all the things he was talking about in Ether. So once he felt that, he felt betrayed because Jazz O fell out with him. So Jazz O's dissing him. So on some of the songs he recorded, rather than just take the line out, he just got rid of the whole song completely. Anything that mentioned jazz. But that was funny. Jay on that intro. I get high. What you getting high now, man? I'm getting sick and tired of telling you, man. Get out your mommy's house. 40 years old, Johnny, man. You should be ashamed of yourself. My reign on the top was long like marathons. Man, that was hilarious. That was a hilarious intro, man. And Jazz is at war with all of them dudes. Yeah, so that was another thing about it because Jazz and him fell out, and it was funny because they both had the guys. Jazz was with Nas, Cormega was with Jay. That's how they was getting their information. Jay was paying Cormega to give him information on Nas. When he had problems with Mobb Deep and Nas at the same time, like P was cool with Mega, but Mega was over there working basically with Jay Z, and Jay Z didn't sign him. Jay Z didn't sign a lot of these dudes, man. He was supposed to help Cormega out and do all this stuff, man, and he just played him. I mean, I know because Jay was using lines when he did Super Ugly. That was all the stuff that Cormega had told him. And Jay's trying to put that in rap real fast. And people had to try to tell Jay, look, Jay, you all over the place. All that niggas in pink suits trying to get cute. That's all Cormega. Cormega already talked about that with the street dreams and the pink suits and all that. He already then put it in his 55 disc records on Nas. Nas did one song talking about Mega that really got under his skin, and that was Destroy and Rebuild. It was funny, and that's why did it. All he said that really made Mega jump off the roof when he said, "You got snuffed, you got shot in the thigh, you did nothing. You got snuffed, you got shot in the thigh, you did nothing." Ah, oh man, you got snuffed, you got shot in the thigh, you did nothing. Man, Cormega put that song out quick. He was like, "Man, what you mean, boy? I was returning fire at cats." Man, what is you talking about? uh, I ain't never try to be Nino Brown of the hood. Nino Brown was a rat. He was so bad. Oh my goodness, that was hilarious. It 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 shattered Rockefeller because it highlighted the problems that was going on in the crew with Jazz. I mean, with Jay Z and Dame Dash. Is he Dame Diddy, Dame Daddy, or Dame Dummy? Oh, I get it. You Biggie and he's Puffy. You see, Steve Stout was working with Jay Z because he just left Nas. Now he over there working with Jay. So all Nas people are running over to Jay. All the people that was on Jay's side was basically running on over to Nas. Oh well, you already know. Ether is the most factual diss record probably ever made. uh, I've already expressed that in the video plenty of times, Prod. It was a sad day for Rockefeller. Yeah, it was because they weren't even they weren't listening to the song together. Jay has never listened to the entire album of Stillmatic. Jay has never listened to the whole album. I don't know now if he did, but back then Jay didn't listen to the whole album. He listened to about three songs. He heard the intro, he heard Ether, he heard Got Yourself a Gun, and probably one other song, like One Mic when One Mic came out. But other than that, if somebody else brought something else, like, oh, he said this about you on another song, then that was that. But nobody was ever looking at Jay like, like he was the guy no more. Like he was invincible. It was cool to diss Jay Z, so everybody was like, yeah. Even though Mobb Deep had just dissed him the month prior, it didn't mean nothing to Nas did it, you know. He only dissed him on two tracks. Are you who? Who only dissed who on two tracks? Because the whole Stillmatic album, the entire album, every song is dissing Jay. Every song is dissing Jay Z. Every song. Oh, thanks, Bees. Yeah, I just saw you came over to the Patreon. I appreciate that, bro. I got more in store. Just stay tuned. We got more in store. Actually, I'm finna put up an uncut live chat. That's going up later on. Probably in the morning sometime. It's a lot of gems dropped in there. In that live chat, man. That was crazy. Yeah, every song. Rule the World, every song he made, he's dissing Jay. Nah, ESPN didn't run me my check for the Jordan Pieces story. They should have. See, up here in Chicago, we already knew what happened to Michael Jordan. He got everything he could out of Cormega. Talking about Nas had to buy his chain back. It's just like I'm like Cormega said all this stuff in his diss records. So when Jay was saying it, it was like a rehashing of it because Mega was over there with him. And Alpha P was a little, Nas is like, man, get them unloyal dudes about your circle, man. We got love for you, P, but you got to get them unloyal dudes out your circle. Meaning Cormega. He had Cormega and Littles. He had to get rid of them. Yeah, he did. I ripped the freeway, slide through Memphis with money bags, stop in Philly, order feet, well, cheesesteaks, and eat beans fast. Man, he went through the rock in one line. I ripped the freeway, slide through Memphis with money bags, stop in Philly, order cheesesteaks, and eat beans fast. I did the Nas and Prodigy beef. No, he said Prodigy isn't from Queensbridge. He's not. He's from Left Rack. I mean, he's not from Left Rock. He's from he's I forgot where he's from actually, but he's not. He moved there when he was like 8. Oh yeah, Hampstead. He's from he's from Hampstead. So he moved there, but have always he's Queensbridge all the way. Oh, we was talking about the intro, and then somebody brought up the Stillmatic freestyle. They got it confused. Yeah, that intro was monstrous, man, because that was the essence of hip hop. That's what that intro, that Stacy Lattimore beat. And before he finished that line, I knew. Oh yeah, that was the Coronation album. If Nas' mental didn't change, half of the songs he destroyed because he was going after Cameron heavy, heavy on that crabs in a barrel. If he'd have released that song, it was over. He was finna get rid of them. But when his mom passed, he ended up changing his album. That's why the album is like split. It's like two different albums. It was like one half was like a dedication to his mom. He started putting songs on there because his whole mental changed after she passed. So but his album was basically completed, and he just took songs off. Like all them songs he was going at Cam and all them, he took them off the record. But if he'd have put like that Crab in the Barrel song on there and some other joints, it'd have been a problem. Because when he was like, "You got a house in Virginia, the only way you sicker than us." Getting back with 22s now, you's a ridiculous. Uh, no need for the gunplay. It's okay because you done anyway. The unreleased versions of Ether, they've been released. Some of it is on the original album, and some of them got taken off. Just go listen to Everybody's Crazy. That's another version of Ether. That was the original Ether. They just got different names. Yep. That's right, Kenny. House in Virginia. Yeah, all this basketball talk and all the sports talk. We were like, man, we gotta get back to talking some hip hop. I mean, dudes used to walk the music tracks across the street. Oh yeah. It was funny. A DJ hit me up and told me, he said, man, I never knew any of that stuff. And he's like, I was spinning those records. He's like, I was in New York. I was in Wyclef's studio. He was like, I was with Buster and all these dudes spinning these records. And never, ever knew none of the stuff that was happening right under the records. I feel like a fool. Cause he's like, it's right there. Like once I saw your video and then I went and played the record again, I'm like, how did I miss this? I was like, dog, it happens. Blood of a Slave, Heart of a King. That was the original title of the song. But they couldn't, I don't think they could copyright that actual saying because for the song, because I think that's the title of a poem. And then they would have to pay for that. That's why it's called Blood of a Slave, Stillmatic intro. But it was supposed to be called Blood of a Slave, Heart of a King when it was recorded. Well, that didn't really matter to him. They was all good with everything, to be honest. Yes, Ether is on Stillmatic. And definitely they had a couple of other situations take place. They had Ether on there. They had songs that people need to pay attention to. Poison, What Goes Around Comes Around. That song. It's all poison. Yep. You know, Jay Z couldn't make those songs. That's what was the point of Stillmatic. He wanted to show you the difference between him and Jay Z, and he did it. He showed you the difference between him and Jay. Yeah, I didn't like that. No, he did what Jay couldn't do. You feel me? He did what Jay couldn't do. What he did, Jay couldn't do. Jay can't make my second childhood. Jay can't make rewind. Jay can't make those songs. He tried. He tried to do those story raps and it just the meet the parents and everything else. And it don't work for him. He tried. He really tried to show that I could do these songs and he can't. I mean, what meet the parents, everybody was asleep by the time that story got to the end. Are there songs Jay can do that Nas can't? Well, he can make more club records better than Nas. Or Meet the Parents is a okay song, but it gets boring. It gets repetitive. If you if you heard Nas story rap and you listen to Meet the Parents, it sounds like a dull drug out rendition. It's like you lose track of the story halfway through it. You're not interested halfway, and then you like know where it's going. And then he's like, and then ISIS, and I'm like, oh my god, Jay, you don't know how to articulate this story. Believe me, go back and listen to Soon You'll Understand is great. I love that. Three different versions of that, and I'm like three different verses talking about stories, and these were true stories. Jay Z falling in love with another underage girl. You my best friend's sister, grown woman and all. You should see I am around girls. I ruin them all. Plus your mother called me son. Been around you since you was small. I watched you mature. No, this ain't right. When your boyfriend left you, lights up bitch, you cried. Under my shoulders, I told you, wipe your eyes. Take your time when you're liking a guy. Cause if you see your feelings is too intense, it's pimp or die. I bought you earrings on your birthday. I drove you to college the first day. It must be said, though it hurts to say, we can never be an item. Don't even like them. You deserve better. This is ugly. Gina, please don't love me. There's a lot of people out there other than me, like a lawyer, a doctor, a PhD. Just find out how upset your mother and brother would be if they find out you here hugging me. My conscience is messing with me. Another one of them young chicks Jay was dealing with, who was a friend, was the sister of his friend. So Song Cry was not Kanye West's song. Who said that? Anyway, don't forget to support the page. Hit the Cash App up. It's your boy Cino. Yep. You can hit the subscribe button. He said, I guess we'll be going another 3 months without notifications. Y'all didn't probably get one for this one either. So anyway, don't forget, support that Cash App. Carcino. You can hit the subscribe button. I will do a stream lab tomorrow. We'll talk some more hip hop tomorrow. Later on today. Love, peace, and hair grease.